9.9.
Well, good morning to you, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's 10:34 here in SVG and across the Eastern Caribbean. It's now time for Shakeup. Today's scripture reading is taken from Psalm 17, verses 1 and 2 and verse 7. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they reveal knowledge. The law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing for the soul. The statutes of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. For those of you listeners who are interested in making a contribution to today's Shakeup program, kindly call us on air at 1784-457-9997, our digital number at 1784-532-9997, or you can WhatsApp us at 1784-457-9994. Of course, my name is Narissa Sandy, the technical operator for today's Shakeup program, and today's moderator is Mr. Augustine Ferdinand. Mr. Augustine Ferdinand, and he will introduce his guest for this morning.
What a time. Good morning to you, Narissa. Hi, Narissa, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those of you who are listening abroad and Radio Land St. Vincent. Greetings to Consul General Mr. Fitzhuggins and his family, my good friend and brother, all the way in Oman, Mr. Darren Grant. To all the students out there, whether in Taiwan and Mexico, Cuba, Norway, New Zealand, Morocco, yes, we do have students there, in Russia. Greetings to those of you across the Caribbean region, and a special morning also to the staff of Star FM and the listeners of Star. Those of you who are also joining us via Garifuna Radio in Northwind, well, it's quite overcast there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I can tell you that. Those of you who are, of course, joining us on the live via WEFM 99.9 Facebook page. And, of course, it's basically the days are counting down up to Sunday. Yeah, Sunday the 26th, man. Last night it was wonderful. But Charlo, good morning.
A pleasant good morning, my brother.
Good morning to you.
Greeting. But as usual, I'd just like to make up my friends, retired Station Sergeant Jackson out in Mespo, Carol and Noel in Sharps, Phil at the market, Miss Duncan, Miss Kingston Park, Miss Murphy, Monica, Sister Jacobs, Bethel, Joan Chang, Lavon and Miss Jack, my two neighbors in Green Hill, Uncle Sam, Bristol, Sergeant Aberdeen, Sergeant Mason, not forgetting our good friend Stephen Razor. It's an interactive program. You keep it clean, and we'll take it from there.
Indeed. Well, like I said, last night was a whole show and movie altogether, everything in one. Jalo, I don't know if you got the chance to, watch and enjoy yourself. Free entertainment, more or less. While at the same time sending the message of the Unity Labour Party, all the achievements, all the accomplishments over the many years. Want to big up, boy, I nearly say DJ Pitbull, Senator Bala, yeah. Did a wonderful job in studio of Star FM and all those who are part of the production team, and we continuing, like I said, it's another creative way in showing all that we have achieved, or what we stand for as a political entity, and also why we must celebrate 22 years in government. Charlo, there's so much thing we have to be grateful for.
Yes, and I think we have to keep reminding members, people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because we tend to forget what was happening and what is happening now. And I heard my good friend asking this morning, what is there to celebrate after 22 years? But there's so much more that we'll update him today.
Oh, what is there to celebrate? Charlo, on my way, as I am coming to the radio station, I saw, well, it's booked out, it's maxed out. Catamaran, more than likely going all the way up to North Leeward this morning. I was in traffic in Capital City Kingston, and there were 3 big buses in the same lane that I was in. you know, and even earlier this week, it was similar situation. So again, and there are many taxi and tour operators. Like I know Mr. De Freitas is one of them. Normally at Argyle International Airport, which is another opportunity that this government has provided. Had it not been for this government, there would be no AIA, and obviously there would not be as much taxis as you have at AIA, as I always like to say, eating our food.
Yes.
You know, so that's just one of them as to how far we've come as a country and how these policy initiatives taken by the government benefiting the average man. Because you're gonna, I talk about the catamaran this morning. That's US dollars, a lot of US dollars, thousands upon thousands of dollars. You're talking about those who are working tours, and also you have the tour guides and the like. You have in some cases interpreters as well. So these are the new opportunities that we are seeing. We never experienced anything like that before. As I always say, when the Unity Labour Party government took over, tourism, no one really used to talk much about tourism, you know. You know, it was just a fancy word. And we were still in toddler stage,
Correct.
you know. As a matter of fact, and the reason why I always say that is that is only during 1999 2000 thereabout you had the cruise ship terminal, and then you had the storm that damaged that cruise ship facility as well. Before that, yes, we used to have cruise ships come in here, but you basically used to have the small vessel that go out and bring in persons, you know. So we've since the Unity Labour Party came into office, we have developed so many things, from the facilities that we use. You're talking about Black Point. Brighton area is an area to be these days. People have the cookouts and thing. And talking about tourism, you know, they normally have this thing where they cook seafood and roast seafood and thing. A nice little thing for tourists, you know, when they come. That's one of the spots to be. You also have Oracle, and you know, before these areas, you used to just go there. You know, you didn't have any bathroom facility. Your changing room was the bush, and these other things. Your bathroom was also the bush.
And one of the places to be too is on the leeward coast is Waraku.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well,
Mountain.
well,
Well, you have Wallabu, and then you have
well,
Mountain.
yeah,
Mountain is
Wallabu.
another big
Yes,
spot.
that is always crowded.
Yes.
And what I observed a couple of Fridays coming down, once the ship are in, you know, right just below Midway Butcher.
Uh-huh.
That little lookout.
Yeah, the lookout there where
Yes,
taxis
yes,
go across
Three
and pull aside
buses
and
were there
thing.
this morning, and the
Wow.
tourists were there taking photos and so on.
Yeah.
It's
a marvelous thing.
It's exciting.
That we've come so far in building our tourism product, and again with this government, like I said yesterday, we are carrying it even higher and further. Yeah, before your bathroom and changing room was the bush.
Yeah.
Now you have bathroom facility, you have changing room facility, you even have cooking areas.
Yes.
Yeah. And the remarkable thing about it as well, and I know some persons say, boy, we are paying $5 for. Remember, you're using water. You have to maintain the facility. As a matter of fact, the $5 you're paying can't even maintain or pay anybody who work in there. I just want to tell you that now, based on the labor cost. You know, because sometimes you hear that, boy, we have to pay $5 for the facility. Think about it. You have a cooking area, you have changing room, you have bathroom facility, you have the worker to pay. You think your $5 is going to pay that? No, but at least you're contributing now towards the upkeep of the facility in any small little way.
Right.
And the significant thing about it, you also have Wi-Fi. You know, I went Mount Twin on Sunday, and man, I was amazed. You know, just as when I before the eruptions, I remember I went to that view, and I was amazed. The bars were up. You know, all that you're paying for, you know. All that you're paying for the internet, and it was reliable. And you of course have parking there as well. You know, very significant how far we've come. I hear some persons saying, well, what have we done? What is there to celebrate? And the very taxi operators and tour operators, they carry persons to these facilities because it's scenic. And you can picnic there as well.
Yeah, there. Yes.
And there are those who are stopover visitors. These are the places they go. Like you mentioned, all the down there as well. And it's a nice yachting area also.
Yes.
And we beef up security because of, you had one or two break-ins, robberies and things. And talking about on the leeward side, up at Westwood area, you have a lookout. You have a look out there and you oversee the entire Cumberland Spring Village area in particular. All these things we've done, and including Black Point and the like, we have some more monies to further develop the Chate, Joseph Chate Heritage Park.
Yes.
And you already have, the constructing, you have the bathrooms and things being constructed and the like. Things are going to get better. You have Salt Pond as well. Oh, we have Salt Pond. I mean, you have the Belmont Lookout.
Yes.
And that has bathroom facilities as well. So all these things, and in developing our tourism product, as well as, training of persons, you have the registering of taxi and tours, make sure that, they're well up to date in terms of the servicing and all of that. And then you look at yachting, and the minister talk about yachting, that is part of the tourism sector that shows more promise. And the good thing about yachting, they buy food, they also buy fuel and all these things. They sometimes use laundry services as well, and then you have the cruise ships themselves. You see now more often. I mean, we are coming to the end of the season.
Yes.
But we are now accustomed to 2 or 3. That is where we are now. And that is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that this government is saying that look after the building of the modern port, which is needed. That will free up a lot of space there for us to expand the cruise ship pier facility. Charlo, it's amazing, eh? I saw a supporter and a radio host of the NDP post a photo with Antigua and Barbuda. I think they had 6 cruise ships in harbor. 6, huh? And, she was saying, well, look at Antigua. But I'm like, but you have persons in your political party who are saying, well, why are we building a modern port? Yeah. You expect 6 cruise ships to hold up there?
But the point, who built the
exactly. You're coming into the 21st century and building something that could only accommodate small size cruise ships, 2 of them. No, you have to think long term, and that is why we are going about how we are doing things, building the modern port, and then of course we focus on expanding. You have free space now, where you can have another 1 or 2 cruise ships in harbor. But there are other things, Charlo. We talk about the international airport, and even the NDP themselves recognize, well, not the NDP, but LICOC in particular, recognize how important that infrastructure project is. But there are other things, apart from the infrastructure. We are closing into the hurricane season. The time flying. It's basically, you can say, April is upon us.
Indeed.
Then we look at Workers' Month and Mother's Day in May. And then after that, June 1st is hurricane season. And very important in what this government did, focusing on disaster management. Because before, and Charlie rightly said that sometimes we forget, sometimes we really forget in that for disaster management in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it was just an office, a one-man operation. And we basically established NEMO.
Yeah.
And we had the NEMO Act, which was passed in the House, that basically empowers NEMO during times of emergency to act and work and liaison and take over, that to take control of certain agencies and entities in responding to disasters. But before, NEMO was a one-man operation. Well, it wasn't even NEMO at the time. It was just an office, a cubicle, a one-man thing. If you have any disaster and thing, that was it. But now you have a full staff with the headquarters. They have their response vehicles, and you have many warehouses across this country.
No, not only on mainland.
Exactly. You also have in Beckway as well.
Exactly.
And further down, because again, we recognize the age that we are living in. And I often wonder how the previous administration really used to think. Because it's not to say that St. Vincent and Grenadines wasn't experiencing storms in NDP's time. Even before then, for time immemorial, since this country was inhabited by human beings, I faced different disasters. So when I sat and thought to myself, it's really strange that one would think that, just having a one-man operation, and it was Mr. Prince, who also sat in that office as well, to basically deal with whatever major issues there is. But really and truly, the one man wasn't really the one dealing with it. You basically had the Ministry of Transport and Works.
Yes,
who dealt with that sort of thing. You didn't have any agency, so to speak, at the center, to liaison with any agency or the ministry and the like. Even in terms of data collection, they basically had Ministry of Transport and Works, or Ministry of Land and Works. And then you had JESCO as well. So I'm like, really and truly, how they actually thought about policy, But this government takes disaster response very serious.
Very serious.
And given the age we are living in, and the Prime Minister Gonzalez always say that is an existential threat to humanity. And while it's not something that is a sexy topic, it's very, very, very important. And 2013, for example, has taught us a lot of lessons.
Yes.
Not only were property damaged and that, but lives were also lost. Lives were lost. And what we did, we not only established NEMO through the NEMO Act, we not only built a headquarters for the staff to operate, and you have a director, deputy director, and office staff, but we established warehouses. The first warehouse we built was in Cannon Park, and it's right there, and it's still in operation, because you have to store things just in the event something to happen. You can't wait until the event happens to start look for goods and things. You have to have something already at hand.
You have to be prepared.
You have to be prepared. And that's the first major facility was built and still used by NEMO today. And of course, in recognizing that St. Vincent and Grenadines, multi-island state, our topography and the like, and the nature of disasters, we say, well, we are going to build more warehouses, because at the end of the day, Charlo, you may have an issue in North Leeward or North Windward.
Yes.
They can't wait for supplies to leave the warehouse and get them back to go and distribute, and also to assist with clearing and the like, whether North Leeward or North Windward, because you may have trees along the way.
Correct.
You might reach Belial and they can't cross. You might reach anywhere at Connery and they can't move.
Yeah.
So all these things. So you have a Chile in Georgetown, you have in Sandy Bay, you have in Belmont, you have in Beckway, you have in Maracua. These areas, very strategic in basically storing equipment, supplies just in the event. And of course, if we have a storm coming, we normally stop them with non-perishable items just in case. Very important. But the other thing, Charlo, that is significant to all of this, into showing how we take this matter seriously, is the contingency fund.
Yes.
And the NDP oppose that fund initiative when we charge persons, $3 per room per night. And the NDP said, well, where we going with that? We're going to prevent tourists from coming here. Nobody will walk up. And then they propose,
my representative,
your genius representative, proposed that instead of us charging the tourists $3
we should pay them
per room, we should pay them $5, not 5 EC, no, $5.
Yes.
So you could imagine that what we are asking them for, we were supposed to pay out more. I mean, and we saw during pandemic and the like where that fund came in very handy in assisting us. Even last of eruptions, came in very handy in assisting us, because we have to, they always say you have to prepare and put up sometimes for what? Rainy days. And that is another initiative of the government through the contingency fund, where we basically keep replenishing that fund just in the event that a disaster strike, just in the event that there's a major hazard. And many persons, I'm quite sure today, appreciative of this fact. And similarly to talking about disaster management and response, we saw throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where we have river defense, sea defense. We have a major project in Sandy Bay to come.
Yes.
Sandy Bay Coastal Defense Project. And there's a lot of money. We saw recently at Georgetown, because Charlo and those living in Georgetown area, Connery area, would know that really and truly, if you thought that the playing field in Georgetown there now was going away. There's no joke about that,
What was encroaching?
It was already encroaching the thing, and the government then had to act. All those persons who are living along that bayfront, the government had to act. Even at Sanssouci, where you turn the corner there, if you ain't careful, you will drop off and all gone. Very important.
Yes.
And that is why I say, I mean, it's not a sexy topic, but it's significant, because what? Without these things can negatively impact lives and livelihood.
Yeah.
Because homes can be gone, could wash away, businesses could wash away, and lives can be lost.
Correct.
So we saw even in capital city, you notice now, no matter the amount of rain that we have, again, some persons ask, what is there to celebrate? Sometimes maybe we forget. But, Charlo, all he needed was a little rain, and Heritage Square gone all mass.
Right.
Heritage Square gone all mass. All the mud and debris and everything on the street in Heritage Square. Flooding. Remember, we also built up those small shops in that vicinity, because we had to widen the drain and everything. Sometimes we forget, We forget these small things.
The famous bridge over troubled water.
Yes. We forget these small things. And you have some persons asking what is there to celebrate. You see them rainfall this morning, you would have trouble by Heritage Square.
Indeed.
But what we did the river defense, starting from the river coming down. Well, that river runs through Central Kingston, actually, coming all the way down past the headquarters and behind Girls High and come down. So Girls High Prep School, Bank of St. Vincent. We did river defense work there. And that assists, along with the work we did at Heritage Square and widening the drain and the like. That is why you don't have this problem anymore, There is election, they're wondering. But that is why you don't have this problem anymore. If you pass by Girls High, you see the Gabian baskets and them going down there.
Yes.
Significant amount of work. And then we did work also at the river in Stony Ground.
Yes. Block 2000 area there.
Block 2000.
That by wherever have the
Yes,
store.
the single store.
That small bridge
warehouse.
always used to be overflowed.
But sometimes we forget these things. They must be sexy enough, but they're very important. And persons would know based on the areas I call what I'm talking about. And then, of course, Bokoment. Oh, Lord. Well, the people in Bokoment would know what I'm really talking about.
Yes.
Even the farmers, because they still have 1 or 2 farmlands down there. By the time they see rainfall, they wondering, boy, what to the be the day?
Yes.
And they then start organize the sandbags and things because Bokoment already is like a floodplain. But what we did, and you know, the former rep, Mr. Charles, also have Sir Louis Straker, you have current rep, Honorable Dr. Randall Brewster. And he pushed and pushed and make sure that the river defense work from Hope come down.
Yeah.
It's done. And the road also got widened because of that project as well. And now today, you have businesses, more businesses popping up in Bokoment. The persons who have the homes, they could relax a bit now and have a calm because of that work we did. And no doubt, you now have Sandals beaches and you have Bistones and the like. They also can have some sign of relief.
Very much so.
Disaster response and management. Very important. This government takes this matter seriously and showing you how these projects, as much as they may not be sexy, they're very important in safeguarding lives and livelihood. Because again, your business could wash away. And if your business wash away, then things get more difficult for you. Because you have to live. That is your business. It's the same thing. If you have your home, some person might say, well, I should have home insurance. But these things, they're very important. Very important. And then, of course, you have at Leo Waterfront. And Sir Louis Straker, very instrumental with that project. Again, you have the police station and other businesses even have the Seventh, the church and the like. Had it not been for that project, the entire waterfront, the road, the police station, everything. As a matter of fact, I believe had it not been for that waterfront project, Charlo, I have no doubt today that the sea would be at the doorsteps of the police station. No, I'm very serious. Very, very serious. You want to know how brutal climate change is? Go Indian Bay Beach and Villa Beach and just stand up and watch the shoreline and picture the beach 10, 15, 20 years ago. You'll see the impact of climate change. You hear me? So these projects, again, they may not be sexy, but they're very important in safeguarding your property, your business, your livelihood, and your life. And those who are affected in the past, well, this is a government with a heart. You hear some people talking about wickedness and the like, but any government that building more homes for people and furnishing them with fridge and stove and bed and mattress and everything else, well, I would love them wickedness to continue by all means. By all means, I'm very serious. Jalo, I will tell you this, and again, those listening via Garifuna Radio would know what I'm talking about. When those homes at Orange Hill, you know, it had some persons who were saying, boy, why all in giving the people the keys and let them move in and the like. But little did they know what the government was really doing. It's not just building putting up a house and they move in. Let us not forget these were persons whose homes were destroyed, damaged, including furniture and the like, appliances, everything. Because all they had time to do was to basically run out the house and head for the nearest shelter.
Correct.
And this government, man, I still have the pictures on them, From small rug, bed. I want to say bed, I'm talking about the actual bed, the furniture bed, the frame. And then you had the mattress too. Fridge. Stove. Man, if that is wickedness, then by all means, let wickedness continue. And then let us not forget those who received the keys in Manning Village. And thanks to the government and people of Trinidad and Tobago. All these things, disaster response. The government ain't just saying, hello, keys and move in. Even though you have bed or whatever, if you want, put on a little sheet and sleep on the floor. But the government actually provide, we ain't just give you key. We furnish it. Yeah, some people say that is wickedness. Government wicked. Yeah. You have many persons today who receive those no income homes, meaning you didn't have to pay 1 red cent. And they expand them over time. The policy of the government, disaster response and management. Very important. So when some persons ask what is need to celebrate, go and ask the people in Peters, Hope and Diamond and Manning Village and down Cumberland.
Correct.
What is there to celebrate? Go ask them. We cleverly right here. The housing project in Cleverly, I deem it now as a gated community. I swear you have apartments down there now. Some big massive homes. If you doubt me, go and visit yourself. Take the road, come in down Cannon Park and go over into Cleverly. Go down by the Hard Court and then take a right and go up in the housing village. If you think I'm lying. Those people living in that area will tell you why you need to celebrate. Very important. And then, we're talking about things we don't normally talk about, Jalo, we have, in terms of bridges. Bridges are important because they link the country, communities and the like, and they're very important also when coming to trade.
Yes.
Remember, again, we talk about disaster management and response. And when bridges were destroyed, including in Hartley Ward, the then MP, Patel Matthews, said we were bringing Ecuadorians to spy on our bananas. Never hear more notishness yet. To spy on bananas. Brought the people with a speciality to come and set up Bailey Bridges. The NDP had people on radio, including the former MP, talking about we brought people to spy on bananas. Have anyone answered? And now you have the bridge in Chateaubelair. Currently speaking, you have they're doing some final stuff on them, at Noel and Overland. The bridge over Rabaka. Sometimes we forget these things, The significance of bridges, linking communities, facilitating trade. And the reason why I talk about bridges is because they ain't cheap. They ain't cheap at all. You have also the bridge at Hope in Vermont. Bridge ain't cheap. Very important in linking communities, for people here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You have land distribution. Owning land is very important. Owning land is also part of building wealth, you know.
Yes.
Talk about wealth generation. Owning land is also part of building wealth. We even forgot, Charlo, the bridge in Cumberland, and I think it was the government of Mexico, if my memory serves me right, that assisted us in the funding and financing of that bridge at Cumberland. Talking about bridges. Before, you had a very small bridge at Spring Village there. Well, I call it Cumberland, but most people refer it as the Spring Village Bridge, you know. Before then, it was small. Now it's a wide bridge. And because it's wide, you also have, before, you didn't really have walking area enough for persons. But now we have a large bridge that persons can walk on. You have the Byra Bridge. And talking about Byra as well, you have the Byra Tunnel. That is also significant to know. Yes, Labour Party did that Byra Tunnel. Expand it, modernize it. Because what they had there before was something just to walk through, basically.
And it was falling in.
It was falling in. Again, sometimes we forget these things, you know. Very significant. Yeah, some people asking what is there to celebrate. That Byra Tunnel. And not only you build a tunnel, but you had lights and things. Very important project. Again, for trade, you know. Because guess what? You don't dare hire any large truck going up there under the old tunnel. You have many shops. You have supermarkets even in Georgetown. You say that you're going to have boat. And we're going to dock it. Yeah? We're going to dock it. You have to have vehicles, commercial vehicles carrying goods. You will say, well, that's why you have the small vans. But the amount of trips that small van have to make. But because of that tunnel, you have increase in trade, you have commercial businesses and the like. You also have the bridge in Fenton. Well, don't talk about that.
The bridges in Fenton.
The bridges, yeah, more than one. Don't talk about that. And that also is a nice area for tourism, you know.
Yes.
Ecotourism and sightseeing. And you take a trip up there. I remember when, Charlie, it was, you know, it first open and thing, many persons flock. Many persons went there to see and, you know, relax and thing. Nice area for tourism. The bridges in Fenton, and that's also an expensive project because it's a good bypass road as well.
Yeah.
And I know the road at Upper Green Hill, they have that's done for some work. South River Bridge, all these things. Sometimes we forget them, but I refresh the memory here today. Things that we don't normally talk about. Yeah, we just talk about airport and port and education and library and tourism and things. But these small things, we don't really talk about them much, but they're very significant and important. Linking communities, facilitating trade, settlement for the betterment of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And then, of course, you have, in terms of roads, we saw extensive road repair program and road construction program. But land, ownership of lands, you know, Charlie, if I tell you, this government distributed over 5,000 plus lands. And the price for those lands again, 10 and 15 cents a square foot. You know, when they tell you your Caribbean sister or brethren, that it lands in St. Vincent and Grenadines being sold for 10 and 15 cents per square foot. They say, man, shut him up, man. You're talking foolishness. Nothing so could happen. And that is Eastern Caribbean dollars.
Yes.
They're in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Thousands of those lands distributed across St. Vincent and Grenadines. We're not talking about now homes and things, lands across St. Vincent and Grenadines. And as some people saying that is wickedness. Well, if that is wickedness, by all means, let wickedness continue. If you're saying government wicked for doing these things, by all means, let wickedness continue. Not so?
One of the things we have to remember too, in terms of sporting facilities, there was a large quantity of sporting facilities throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes. We have in Capital City, Kingston, Victoria Park, for instance.
Yes.
If you didn't carefully see on a rainy day like this, you don't dare go Victoria Park to play any game. Because it's bay mud.
Yes.
Bay mud. And we have, like I always say, even Cumberland. Cumberland has a nice cricket field, you know?
Yes.
You have also Chile playing field. And let us not forget sports scholarships. Sometimes we don't mention that. What is significant in developing our athletes and sporting personalities? Sports scholarship is very important. We see many young persons also in sports going abroad and advancing themselves. National Lotteries Authority, they do a fantastic job as well with the construction and the maintenance of these facilities. Green Hill recently,
Yes, Saturday.
they had court. You also have the tennis court at Villa. We have now one, and you saw many schools using the athletics track at Diamond.
Yes.
All these things are very important. Squash complex in National Lotteries Authority headquarters. And we continue to build on sports development. You have also, in terms of good governance, and when I talk about good governance, I'm specifically focusing on transparency and accountability. You know, as much as you hear the NDP talk about, oh, we need accountability now, there's no accountability. You don't want a government that is more transparent and accountable than this one. If it's one thing, no Vincent could say, is that they don't know what the government is doing. Yeah, Charlie? If it's one thing, nobody could say that they don't know what the government is doing. If it's a project that is ongoing, you can't say you don't know what the project is about. Because there's always a board with information about the project. Check it out. Any project. As a matter of fact, we right now have the port project going on. Just across from Input Warehouse, there's the board there telling you about the project. The contractors on the project, the monies spent, the monies to be spent, the donors in terms of the financing, the estimated time for completion, all that. When the project started, when it's estimated to finish, all of that is on the information board. No Vincent can say there's no project in this country that they don't know any information about. And you know who the contractors are. Very important. Huh? Grammar school, when grammar school was being rehabilitated, renovated, and upgraded, the same thing. Girls' high is the same thing. There's information. Before, apostles used to just see a project going on and wondering what's happening over there. Now, you know, from the contractors to money spent and the estimated time of completion. That's transparency for you, know.
It is.
You look in the newspapers and you see tender for all kind of thing. You may see tender to supply uniforms. You may see tender for janitorial services, all kind of thing. They have a tenders board. And we reform the law surrounding tendering. Before, this is a very important point. Before, and that's why I mentioned contractors. Under the NDP, the contractors were very few. I ain't call the names. But of course, we had the building of Milton K2 Hospital. And the contractor who did that did a lot of projects for the NDP. And many other projects. And the thing is, this government don't discriminate when it comes to contractors. We don't discriminate. We don't look at whether you're labor, NDP, whatever, no. We don't discriminate at all. You basically have everyone eating a fair share of the pie. Everyone eating a fair share of the pie. We're watching who you support, what you say about the government. You have a particular contractor. We even wanted to say that the government was unfair to him in giving this award in a contract to somebody else. And all the whole thing about CDB, this, that, and the other. But that same contractor right now is working on various government projects, including a particular project that some pastors were, I remember on Hot 97 was saying, well, why not? We have to spend more monies in just building a school. You're watching no face. You bid. You satisfy the requirements, the costing, do you have the resources? And we give you. They have nothing to do with a minister, government, or whatever. There's a tenders board. Transparent. And the people know who are getting the contracts. But yet you will hear the NDP say, oh, there's no accountability. And there's favoritism. You will often hear that. The Prime Minister does a weekly report to the nation. Weekly report to the nation. Whether it may be press conference, radio, and the thing is with the weekly report to the nation, you have persons, Charlo, the average man, who can call in and ask the Prime Minister a question.
And it happens all the time.
Yeah? Can pick up your phone and ask the Prime Minister a question. Whether it's a question about you personally, a question about your area, what have you. Directly to the head of government, you know. And you look forward to hearing him every week. Press conferences, of course, because of the pandemic, and you had the limitations. But many journalists are accustomed to that. And journalists ask the question, you hear the Prime Minister office say, well, you know, you can't come in here and this or that. You're a journalist, all right, you can come and ask the Prime Minister a question. And the Prime Minister Now the press secretary, they don't say, well, we have a cut-off time. No. You ask the questions and you get the answers. All that is part of accountability, you know.
Transparency.
And transparency. You often hear the media as part of the fourth estate and also helping to keep government to account. And they get the opportunity frequently in asking questions to the head of government. And they don't shy away from the questions and they get answers. Questions for oral answers in Parliament. That's also an accountability measure. They ask as much questions as they want. But some of them, you know, maybe foolish, but hey, we ran him did say everyone has a right to ask a question, even if they talk no touchness. But whether they feel 18 questions, 21 questions, 15 questions, they ask the questions and they get responses from the government. Some of them, sometimes they incorrectly word them, incorrectly direct them to the wrong minister, and they still get answers nonetheless. Because this government is transparent and engages in good governance. But yeah, the very only people will come and tell you, despite I talk all these things, that there's no accountability. Now, you know what I often find strange about it, Charlo? And this is the strange part now. The very individual that speaks about no accountability is also charged in keeping government to account. So if you say that there's no accountability, and then you're also charged in keeping government to account, you're doing your job. The opposition by law is the head of the Public Accounts Committee. I've seen across the Caribbean where you have Public Accounts Committee meetings where the opposition or members on the committee, you don't have to only be the opposition, members on the committee, they can call a public official for questioning on a particular project or a particular matter of government, can ask questions as to how many money is expended, actual monies that is, expended on a particular project, can ask questions pertaining to resources on a particular project. All these things happen during accounts committee meetings. Unfortunately, you, the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, have never really experienced this because of an, what do you call, an incompetent, lazy opposition. The Unity Labour Party, while in opposition, actually did these things. We've held public accounts committee meetings, but this lazy opposition charged with that. They will give you all kind of, they will tell you because this account is up to date, this or that, they will dance around it. They simply don't care. But then they will turn around and tell you that there's no accountability. You hear? And again, it's sad that the people of this country have never experienced that. I've experienced it elsewhere, where officials on the Public Accounts Committee call public officials before the committee to answer various questions on a particular government initiative or initiative in a department, whether in terms of actual spending, whether in terms of allocation of resources and the like. Even questions pertaining to efficiency in a particular department. But this lazy opposition, incompetent opposition we have here, they're not interested in that. They will prefer not to do the job and then turn around and tell you there's no accountability.
Yes.
You hear some of them ask questions as to, you often hear this, where's the accounts for IADC, International Airport Development Company, that had oversight in the construction and all of that of the Yagan International. Where are the accounts? And they tell them, hey, you can just go by SIPO. IADC was incorporated as a company. All company reports, accounts are there. You can simply go there and get it. After that, you could get any forensic accountant, what have you, to peruse them if you want. and you could shed light on it publicly. Yeah, they're not interested in that. They're interested in coming, going on Australia and elsewhere and say, well, you know, up to now, we can't see the accounts for the IDC. They're interested in that. There's a lot of work. They prefer simply to go on Nice Radio, turn up in Parliament now and then. Sometimes they don't even turn up to Parliament and then get paid at the end of the month. You can't do that. If you do that by the boss, you get fired. You get fired. The boss will say, well, you know, you ain't putting in the amount of time and therefore we got to let you go. You're not performing. But I'm here. Because, you know, boys, it's election time. That is only the time when the people could let go of me. They're doing whatever they feel like. If they're hungry, they get up and say, Madam Speaker, I gotta go. If they don't feel like come back in the afternoon, they don't feel like come back. They ain't turn up. Then in the month, they get paid. That's how the NDP see it now. They ain't care about their role in this whole thing. They ain't care about nothing about development, nothing. As long as they get paid, they are seen and heard, they go with that. And then they will turn around and tell you, oh, we need accountability, this, that, and the other. And that is why this thing don't second up, because the people of this country know that is a transparent government. You know what takes place in the government. You ask the Prime Minister and Ministers answers, questions, and you get answers. You see what taking place with the projects. There's always detail on the projects. You're building a hotel, we're just telling you, well, it's 93 rooms, we're telling you the donors, we're telling you the different services. All of that, you know, the contractors. Good governance and accountability. And you know, the Prime Minister also make mention of this, and it's important too. Before Charlo under the NDP, if the NDP government felt at the time that a particular media house was too critical of the government, well, I'm sorry for you in terms of government ads. Sorry for you. I'm telling you the real thing. You know? I mean, if they could come close, came close and closed on a program, well, too bad for you. And it's the same NDP going to come around and tell you that they're for democracy. And they're about freedom of speech. And all of that, you know. But you don't dare be critical of them, eh? Ads? But this government, whether newspaper, Vincent Source, right, whatever, you get ads. You get to post different vacancies in the government and all these things. You get ads. Because that's a policy of the government. Prime Minister had time for looking in the papers and say, oh, you're critical, all right, not for you. And call up phone and say, no. Prime Minister have a lot of things busy to do, getting port, homes built, and all these things. But the NDP was so petty. And still petty. You have a man, well, it's your MP who stood up and say, well, he don't forget things. Yeah? And sent a warning. And so when he becomes Minister of National Security, well, Charlo boy. Pettiness. My MP, Daniel Cummins, imagine the protocol at the airport. You get searched. Boy, opposition MP, you know, man pick a bad. Man say if you only put a hand on me again, what he going to do you? Imagine that to an airport official doing the job. And then you ask the question, well, imagine if he was a minister of government. You know, Charlo, I mean, I never said this on radio, but I have a friend who said to me, based on how the NDP, how they operate, if they want to be ministers, they would spit on people. You know, I say, man, you're joking, man. He said, no, seriously. He said he would spit on Vincent Chance. And there were some persons who would sitting in a jokish with her. But he was very serious.
Okay.
He was very, very serious. Because if you can go to the extent where an airport official executing your duty in such a new, you have to take off your belt and thing and all of that. And he tell you, if you put your hand on me again, if I box it out. Yeah? And if people keep in noise and take big stone and pelt down a building, and you have people like Patel Matthews that brag about that and talk about port project, brag about these things, he said, well, they would spit on Vincent Chance. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, we have to be appreciative of what we have. Appreciative of what we have. Because they have some fellows over there. Charlo MP, St. Clair Leacock say, if you not be just representative, time for him to be a minister. And it's not that they're not interested in that. Oh, you used to jump up for labor. Where you working? I've signed up to come take a position. We all know this. Charlo last election. And this is a warning to many comrades. Last election, you had parcels. Some took it as a joke. It wasn't no joke. Parcels who are comrades, they have friends who may be NDP. And the friend will say, we come in for your work. Many parcels will know this. Come in for your work. You imagine that? They have a list already who have to go. And the NDP will talk about victimization. You have a particular teacher. We had this thing going on about case and case. And who heartless. But I mean, sometimes some of us don't even think logically. COVID-19 dying down, the situation changed in the country. The government said, all right, reapply. Reapply. You come back, same grade, same pay, nothing really changed. Same position, same pay, you keep your benefits, you still continue with your case, we not lose. At least you're still getting paid at the end of the month, you're still going back on the job, doing what you used to do. You have a particular teacher who applied, she said she was shocked. A member of the union also used to protest with Luzette King and them. She applied and she got through. And she didn't even go back in the classroom. She went to the Ministry of Education. And some people will say government still heartless. The same opportunity Miss Williams got is the same opportunity every one of them got. But she chose to take it. She chose to take that opportunity. The government said to protect yourself. You're an essential worker, vaccinated. Boucher took his vaccine. Keep his position. The president of the PSU. You had other persons who reapplied and got the position. So you can tell me that it's heartless. Other places, they ain't giving you no opportunity to reapply and come back with same post and same pay and all of that. And NDP had a thing about it last night. If you didn't even check in, even if there's something there. Because really and truly what was trending last night was Labour Party event. Yeah, big tune with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, all thing out, all kind of thing. So let me take a break, pay some bills, and then we resume with that discussion.
Yes.
It's locally made, affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see me line when you got a white girls, show me what you like. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. It's cigarette from Things submitted with over 60 years experience. Oh, the best taco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Lou to say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors. LLD, I look like a boss, live like a boss, laugh like a boss, I'm looking like a boss. I look like a boss, laugh like a boss, live like a boss.
Tired of being tired, fighting the battle of the bulge? Take a breath of fresh air and embrace a new lease on life. Oxygen Fitness Center is here, located in the Camden Park Industrial Estate in the Green Building, next door to the government printery. Our range of fitness equipment and programs were carefully selected to meet your needs. Take a leap of faith today. Oxygen Fitness Center has the answers to your fitness needs. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram or call us at 457-8333.
I was looking for a cough syrup. I needed when I shopped at
Super Health Pharmacy. We're located on Grenville Street, formerly Isles Boutique. Come in and check out our wide variety of over-the-counter prescriptions, medications, personal care products, and much more. Take advantage of our free delivery services, blood pressure, sugar, and cholesterol testing. Open Mondays to Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call or WhatsApp us at 497-8737 or 457-8737. Super Health Pharmacy. Your health is our priority.
And I found what I needed when I shopped at Super Health.
General Hardware still has the best prices on.
March 25th, and will resume regular business hours on Monday, March 27th at 8 a.m. Singer apologizes to the public for any inconvenience caused.
99.9 and so often visit the remedy. WEFM is SDG.
Celebrate 22 years of labor governance with the world boss, Comrade Ralph, the ULP, and a star-studded Caribbean cast from Barbados, from mighty Gabby. From Trinidad, Logic.
I got you, my friends, please. Because we don't know how the enemy is.
And Nyla Blackman. And from SVG, the Triple X Megadome, Fireman Hooper, and the General, Skinny Fabulous. Sunday, March 26th, E.T. Joshua Runway.
So yes, we are back in studio of WEFM. I am your host Augustine Ferdinand, and in studio with me is former Commissioner Michael Charles.
Yep.
And as usual, the numbers to call and interact with us are 784-457-9997. Let's take the call. Good morning, call. Well, good afternoon. Well, good morning. Still good. Good morning. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello. You were listing out some things earlier, Mr. Ferdinand, that the ULP did, and I wanted to remind Mr. Charles of the police stations that were done in the first 10 years. I think it's the first 10 years.
You mean the hotels? That's what they did call them, hotels.
Oh, yes, sure. We call it there.
The hotels,
They
boy.
rebuilt police stations at Ovia, Sandy Bay, Mesopotamia, Rose Hall, and they built modern police stations at Bayabu, Kitez, Georgetown, and Canaron.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And we had the
That
Canaron
was in your time,
Coast
Charles?
Guard base.
Yes. Georgetown was in Mr. Miller's time. Georgetown and Bayabu.
They did a lot.
Yes.
There's a whole set of clinics and the modernized clinics too. And it was not just Byro. It was not just the Byro Tunnel, Mr. Ferdinand. They also did one at Park Hill.
Yes. The Park Hill Tunnel was also done.
Yes. Thanks for the reminder.
I looking at the manifesto of 2010. That's where I got the
Like I go for leave a copy here in studio, boy. Go for leave a copy here in studio.
Oh, they did lots, and that's
Over
only
by
at
nurse's side, so if anything, possible
all right,
thing. Yeah.
Okay,
Think
thank
I
you.
go do that. Yeah, man. Thank you, caller. Remember the numbers to call and interact with us are 784-457-9997. That's 784-457-9997. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Ferdinand.
Yes, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Ferdinand.
Pleasant good morning.
Good morning, Charlo.
Good morning, my brother.
How are you?
Not bad at all.
All right. Charlo,
Uh-huh.
I had to call in this morning on Kingsley's program.
Yes, I listen.
Now, when you travel the length and breadth of St. Vincent, are you telling me there is nothing to celebrate? That is what you're telling me? Look at the amount of things that happen. People in the diaspora could stay where they are and stay and say the things that have been done in St. Vincent. I don't think Kingsley should have been on WEFM. He's slowly turning WEFM into an NDP station. And I think Jules should start keeping his eye open.
Let me know good. I mean, Kingsley has the right
Yes.
to support who he wants, and he also has the right to be here.
Yes. Remember, WEFM's station is not belonging to any political party, right?
Well, I assume so. But what he's doing, I mean, I don't think it is right. I don't think he does enough research before he comes on the radio.
That is why.
Yes.
That is why we are here, and that is why you, the callers, can also correct him.
Yes.
I mean, Kingsley says things on the radio that people have to think really what. He should have been on IC radio, not on the WEFM or the station. That's my contribution.
All right. We have another call. Okay. But remember the numbers to call and interact with us are 451-7827. That's 451-7827. Okay, let us take. Oh boy. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You ready and ready for Sunday?
Well, you don't know my foot them ain't gonna count.
There's nothing, man. You could still be ready and ready inside.
Just wait till election comes to go there and vote. That's what I'm doing next door in Labour. Labour Party have done more than enough celebration.
Yes.
Who's saying it's not something wrong with their eyes? Help them with a spectacle, give me, please.
Might have to bring back the vision or program.
I think this government have done real good work. You have done real good work. Every day I'm listening and hearing. I don't call that much again. I know that you have done enough for celebration.
on
Yes.
television and who say no, they are wicked set of people.
Thank you.
Have mercy on them, man.
All
I
right.
mean, you have done more than enough for celebration. God bless you. Continue doing what you are doing.
Yes. Yes, man.
Okay.
All right, comrade. Good morning, call. Welcome to Shakeup.
Good morning, Mr. Ferdinand. How are you doing?
Greetings, I'm blessed, man. Charlie is in studio with
Good morning.
us.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioner Charles. How are you doing,
Not
sir?
bad at all, my brother.
I'd just like to congratulate the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the 22 years they have served St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes.
And I know once the Lord give us strength, we're going to be there until He say it. I'd just like to talk about something really because it's dear to my heart. But before I do that, I'd just like to say I enjoyed the program last night.
Yeah, man.
What's his name? Did really well.
Senator Bala. Yeah, man. I need to see the people. Senator Bala.
I sit in my living room and I say, wow, look at this. You know, and I really enjoyed it because that's the young people feel, and you know they got to do what they had to do to spread the good news, and it was really enjoyable last night.
Clean fun. Clean fun.
Yeah, clean fun. Even though I'm far away, I still enjoyed it. I feel like I was home.
Nice, man.
You know, but I like to say something, Mr. Ferdinand, and you know, Tech work is close to my heart because that's how I grew up. That's the channel I came through. I mean, you only could take the donkey to the water, but you cannot force the donkey to drink the water. That's the correct quoting.
Yes,
but
you can use water, grass, either one. You still work fine.
You know, what I'm saying, all these hotels are coming on stream, right? And if they are billing at an international standard, every building you goes into here in New York City have a particular measurement from the elevator, and then you measure from there. So what I'm saying, the young men in St. Vincent, they need to apply themselves what I'm saying, they got to parachute. We got to parachute ourselves because look, we cannot find trade person to do the work to do most of the work. So now we got to parachute ourselves. The government have provided so many training programs. And I don't want to say they don't or they are not going to. They have to know what reason. But the government is doing their fair share of developing the trade industry. Because the first time I personally saw a laser, I didn't know how to use it. And if this whole world is one global thing, these things are going to come.
Comrade, I will tell you this. Here in St. Vincent, I know a few persons who use laser. Yeah, one of the things I know, I mean, even persons who go and study to Taiwan and return and in the construction sector, use them now. But I get the point. But we're reaching there bit by bit, more and more.
Yeah, you have to, because the laser have their remote, they have everything. And we have to apply ourselves, because when they give you a drawing, and you would see on the drawing, the height of the ceiling in this room is 8 feet. You know already from the floor to whatever standard measurement they're using, I'm just say 4 feet. So you know you gotta measure another 4 feet up. So these are the things we gotta train and apply our people if we are going on an international standard, because they're not finger feeding you anymore. They just put their prints out there, and you gotta work with what they put on the prints.
Yes.
So now we gotta parachute our people, our young men, and teach them and show them the way forward, because If you go into a hotel here, they're gonna give you a number and say this is what you gotta go and deal with. This is what you gotta go and fix. And if you're not equipped yourself with familiar yourself with these things, you're gonna get left and lost behind. There's no AC stick in window anymore. They have one big system, and when they send you in room 4A, you gotta find that. If they send you to room 20B, you gotta find that and find what you are going to fix. Because we have all these hotels coming, and we gotta, as I said, we gotta equip ourselves. Because I've come through it, and many other people can come through it as well, just as how I did.
All right, man.
Because it's good when you have the knowledge and you could share it on, and that's just what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, man.
God
That's
bless them. Enjoy the South Sunday and continue to do what you guys are doing.
Yes, man. That's up. Thank
Thanks
you.
for your contribution.
Good morning, Paul. Welcome to Shakeup. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Ferdinand.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Charles.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to lend my voice to the celebration mood, and that we will have a climax on Sunday.
Yes.
But there are so many things we can celebrate in St. Vincent. And from the South Limerick section, we can celebrate the OIA. We can celebrate serving Beach Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
We can celebrate the education revolution. We can celebrate the hospitality training at Diamond. We can celebrate the hotel development in Diamond. We can celebrate the scholarships that our young people. I met 3 young ladies who are medical doctors from the Victoria Village area. And I was so proud to meet us and meet them. We can celebrate the uplifting in our infrastructure with the Bible police station. We saw some Bible, and I can go on and on. I just wanted to just add my name and my voice to the celebration mood for Sunday and to commend the government and people.
Thank you.
For what they have done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
My brother.
So for persons, I want to list out the vans in South Windward. You have HQ 319, that will cover Stubbs and surrounding areas. In Diamond and surrounding, 87615. Bayabo, Adelphi and Simon, 86334. In Cedars, Peruvian Vale and Bayabo, H3386. In Victoria Village and Stubbs area, 87243. And in Calderidge and Argyle area, H7592. In Central Kingston, Darky HY836 will cover Lago Height. Glenmore Van HB769 will cover Green Hill. And Waterman Vans HC314 and H2132 will cover Sharps, Kingston Park and Paul's Avenue area. In West Kingston, Wayne Van H4302 and also HM771 will cover Body Gutter and Lowman's Big Great House area. Jelani Van HY836 will cover Lago Heights and New Montrose. Kenny H2190, Hayden Van 787, and Viper Van HY506 will cover Edinburgh, Rose Place, and Otley Hall, and also Skipper Van 87504. In East St. George, Hitchcock van HR 274 will cover Belmont. Delano H9976 will cover Top Fair Hall. Solent van H41 will cover Glen. Jimmy van will cover Kalakwa. Kingman, Choppins, Daddy Toes, the big boss will cover Diamond and Prospect. Natty van will cover Brighton. And you also have Anja will cover Glamorgan to Enums. So those are the vans, and there are more vans, of course, those who we will send out something for persons so that you can know where vans will be picking persons up from. But as we are coming down on time, I want to play this for persons to enjoy. This is the Foreign Affairs Minister who did her little freestyle thing last night. Yeah.
Live vocal by the minister.
ULP, you know we are the VIP.
Big up Marjorie, she love it.
VIP. ULP is a big deal, and we friend them a big deal. Yeah, we very important for real. ULP is a big deal, and we friend them a big deal. Yeah, we very important for real. Now let me tell you something about this your country. It's going higher with the ULP. Them other guys, you know, they can't touch we. We don't make joke with foreign policy. Education, we gone clear. And not about housing, they can't compare. We've been doing it for 22 years. Tell all the haters that we still here. We are big deal.
So we are big. I'm going to come with my freestyle, you know. What? Because it's ULP for the new century. Big up the #1 Vinci party. The girl so nice and the girl sexy, and she's a minister of foreign policy. You know that we are
So yeah, Sunday, big things will be happening as we celebrate 23 years in government. Charlo, before we leave though, I received the information while on air. I don't know if you receive it as well, but I just want to express and convey my condolences to the family of Dr. Cecil Cyrus on his passing. Of course, he is an icon, a medical icon here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a very good physician who has made significant contribution in the medical field, and therefore we here on the Shakeup program do extend Shakeup, and of course, by extension, the WEFM family would extend our deepest condolences to the bereaved family and friends of Dr. Cecil Cyrus.
Yes.
With that, thank you, Charlo.
Yes,
any last words?
Just to say that on Saturday, the Ex-Police Association will have a soup sale outside of Central Police Station. Just come and support.
All right. Okay, so all roads lead Sunday. Remember, listen out for your vans, get your red, your shirt, your bandana, your socks, your shoes, everything red, and be prepared as all roads head to Iti Joshua Tarmac on Sunday, 5 p.m. Be there. You can't miss it. Thank you.
All right, you've been listening to the Shakeup program, a political interactive program right here on WEFM 99.9 on your FM dial.